What?
Glad.
What happened?
Glad you're better.
Yeah.
Feeling.
Oh, she's breaking, right? Yeah. Hmm?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Scott and Paul, Amy, Neely and Susie and Sandra and Alex. We know guess
Hi,
what is this way. We haven't arrived yet, but we're any moment now. Hi, Carmen. I didn't say hi to you. Hi, everybody on YouTube. Neely, is your hand up to ask a question or are you waving hello?
I thought that was a wave hello.
That's what I thought it was, but I thought, oh, I better check. Good to
Thank
see
you
you.
for checking.
Or good to see your hand. Hey, Dan, welcome. Hi, Giovanna, welcome. Geshe Gelek is here.
Please turn to page 35 in the Gold Prayer Book, and we'll recite the 7-limb prayer. Gosum gupe gone chatselo nye sham yi tu cherti malubu tomene saditun tam che shak kepa gewa nam la je yirang Korwa maton bardule june Drola cherki korlo korwa dang Da genam jan chu chen porngo. And now pages 97 and 98 for the mandala offering and the request to turn the wheel of Dharma. Saji perki shushing metok tam li shi ni degen padi sangye jing du Mikte uwa yidokunam dag shingla cherpashok jetsun lama dampa kenam Kichukukala Kense Chujintik Jitar Tsampe Duje Zima La Japke Cherki Charpawap to serve Idam Guru Ratamadalakam Niryatayami. Now go to page 98, and Geshe will lead us in the refuge and bodhicitta prayer. Dansoki Chonam La Janchu Padu Dani Kapsuchi Daki Chenyangi Personamgi Dola Bencher Sangye Du Pasha Chetansoki Chonam La Janchu Padu Dani Kapsuchi Daki Chenyangi Personamgi Dola Bencher Sangye Du Pasha Chetansa ki chonamla, chanchu batu dani kapsuchi, dagi chenyangi pesanamgi, dola bencher sangye tu pasha.
Sorry, the mic is sleeping. Mic is taking nap. Maybe got tired, me talking all the time. Mic is taking break. Good evening, welcome back to class. Good evening. Oh, yeah. Mhm. So patient is finished. So now we are uh, mm, learning here about doing the what is called 尊律 or 尊律, meaning the 尊律 there's like a perfection. Out of 6 perfections, there's a perfection number 4, sometimes called 6 paramita. There's Sanskrit called 6 paramita. Basically, these are all bodhisattva practice. Bodhisattva did or practice, same thing. Or perfection of what you call like joyful effort, not just effort, joyful effort. What it means, joyful effort means doing something positive happily. So that's considered as a joyful effort. The definition, Gewala to Semba. Gewa, virtuous deed. Virtue or merit is called Gewa, merit. To means like joy. Semba is the thought, the mind. That mind is doing virtuous deed joyfully. So that's the definition of joyful effort. So that's the topic tonight, joyful effort. Gewal to Sembaj. Otherwise, it may become like spiritual practice may become like chore. Chore, it's not chore, so we don't have to do. Why have to do? So now the joyful effort, what it really means if you dig deeper, so it means like while you are doing it, your heart is filled with joy. You see the meaning, you see the purpose, you see something's accomplishing, something's accomplishing. So that's why you get joy. Not in the 5 senses, in the mind, within the mind, 6 mental consciousness, what it's called, 6 mental consciousness. So doing, then feeling good, feeling useful, feeling life has meaning, feeling life has purpose. So that's the whole point. Doing something with joy, doing something positive with joy. Okay. I think that we stopped last Wednesday. All these stanzas, many of them now.
Yes, we were on death.
Didn't match it somehow. Teach Shepherd Nepal last. Lobochida one. Yeah, just please read. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 stanza, right after one another. So probably better read, so better English.
Okay.
So
Verse,
then some of them I will probably read, otherwise it takes a lot of time. I read in Tibetan, say in English, then read in Tibetan, probably first we read.
verse number 8. This I have not done, and this I'm only starting, and this I'm only halfway through. Then is the sudden coming of the Lord of death, and oh, the thought will come, alas, I'm finished. Your face will now be wet with tears, from red eyes swollen in your bitter sorrow. You'll gaze into the faces of your hopeless friends and look upon the servants of the Lord of death. That was verse number 9. Then verse 14. Relying upon the boat of a human body, Free yourself from the great river of pain. As it is hard to find this boat again, this is no time for sleep, you fool. And then verse 15, turn your back upon the sacred doctrine, supreme joy and boundless source of happiness. What pleasure do you have in mere amusement when you stray into the causes of your misery?
No time for sleep. That's what it said, no time for sleep. Moment is a new malo, so of course that you have to sleep, so otherwise you can function. So moment is a new malo, so don't worry, don't worry. This old teaching is designed to you to achieve full enlightenment. Fully enlightenment means like become Buddha. So Buddha doesn't mean like male enlightened. Buddha means enlightened. Buddha means enlightened. That's all. So the goal here is to become Buddha for yourself, for other sentient beings. Huh? I think it's good to think. So like, I think it makes sense, practically it makes sense to prepare something, it's not like fantasizing something, it is like preparing and knowing, understanding, realizing nothing forever, include this life that we cherish so much. Should not think, oh, we'll be here forever. That's not wisdom, that's ignorance. It's not helping you. It's kind of deceiving you. It's not good to go along with that idea. That idea is not based on fact. So that thought follows till end of the life, still hoping to live. Is that negative or positive? It's not negative or positive. It's just not. It's not beneficial. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's not beneficial. It's almost like treating. Every day is last day. Doesn't mean it's going to be the last. Maybe it's going to be the best one. Doesn't mean it's going to be the last. Or thinking, oh, going to be forever. It's not going to be forever. So that's truth. It's not going to be forever. Treating every day is the last day. So based on that, you make choice. Well, don't ever say you don't have choice. We do have choice. If there's no choice, we will never get enlightened. Never get enlightened. We'll never become better because there's no choice. That's not the case. So, otherwise, how you are going to help yourself to do something positive based on what? That's the questions. How you are going to help yourself make sure you don't get lazy? Lazy? It's not, of course, not people in the West, you may say, are kind of depressing think about death. Why you think about death? It's the fact. It's not, you think or not think, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time. What's wrong about thinking about that? What's wrong with thinking, preparing for that? There's nothing wrong. There'll be nothing lost, there'll be gain. There'll be a lot of gain. Oh, So, living day by day. Well, not much caught up in the past, not much caught up in the future, just focusing on the present moment. Present moment. So many joy just could rise, just focusing on that. You know? That's why impermanent and death is important part of the Buddhist practice. Something that you meditate every day. What do you mean meditate? Reminding yourself. Based on that fact, so then, if it's your last day, you're going to be miserable, or you're just going to cheer up yourself, you're going to lift up your spirit, or just feel miserable. If that's last day, it's your choice. Your choice. Could be. There's possibilities. It's not like there's zero possibility. There's possibilities. Could be last day. So it kind of shapes your life. It kind of shapes your life. Then you kind of know, then eventually you understand, then eventually you realize. Oh. So then when actual event happen, not much disturb. You are very aware. Now you're not just that, not just being aware. Now you already did a lot of preparations, and there's some hope rather than become completely hopeless. Now you have hope. That you are very quite confident about the hope that you can, utilize. Even while you are dying, you have confidence that you can utilize that process of death into something wonderful, positive, possible, very possible. Oh. So just think about it. I'm not asking you to believe, just think about, are we missing something, not thinking about death and impermanent? Is it helping us? Then need to analyze, okay? So then this thing it's only a matter of time, will happen. So this body become nothing, wealth, position, education, all this. When it's going to happen, no clue. Have some idea, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next month. It's just your idea. It's our idea, not based on the fact. Everybody has that idea. Till very end of the day, last minute they have ideas, but that's not based on the fact. So, what has become more beneficial if this life ends? Positive. In Buddhism, what's called merit, positive deed, saying something wonderful, thinking something good, doing something good. Those things goes after this body. When you leave this body, that's the thing that goes. Beside that, nothing else. So, therefore, do good. Do good. When? Now. Why? Time of death is uncertainty. No clue when it's going to happen. Now, do good now. What follows after death? Positive things. Therefore, just do good. Hard things to do, but makes sense. It makes sense. Oh, it makes sense. Oh, that's called knowledge. It makes sense. Then that knowledge produces some wisdom. Oh, so then it kind of basically shapes your life and utilize your time in a more positive way, day-to-day life, more positive way. See here now the stanza number 3. Mi tula tenene dunga chuo chile tos. Tuni chide nye kawe mombe tesu nye manos. Mi tula tenene mi tu. Your life is considered as a boat. Dunga chuo, chile, dunga chuo. Creek or lake, not small, big. Dunga chuo. So that creek is not smooth, it's wild. People say things, people do things, people like, like actions that are driven by negative thought is like wild wave in that ocean, or sometimes called ocean, sometimes called creek, sometimes called lake. That lake is not calm, that ocean is not calm. There's a wild wave. You are in that ocean, so you need to understand. Don't act, you can't act like, oh, there's like no wave. There is wave. Not just wave, the wild wave, or dangerous wave. So me trula tenene dungacho cheletos. This is considered a boat. You have opportunities. You could cross. If you choose to cross, you could cross. You don't have to be in that lake. It's so scary. A lot of uncertain things. You can cross. If you choose to cross, you can cross. Your life is equipped with that. You have ability to cross. Now don't just go round and round, they turn the boat around, they're hoping they're getting somewhere. Basically not getting anywhere, just going round and round and round. Idea is to get cross the lake. Me trula tenen dungachu chilitus. Truni chidi nyeka. Don't think like, oh, there'll be another boat, maybe I'll just wait. There may be no another boat. It's just your idea. Maybe there will be another boat. Why are you waiting for another boat? You already have the boat, now it's time to cross. Why are you waiting for another boat? It doesn't make sense. And even like, to the chini nyeka, this life is, you may think, oh, just look around, there's so many people, how many 7 billion human beings on this planet, or there's like, there's no shortage of human life, there's so many of them. We are facing problems with the population problem. There'll be more people there, but you have only one body. So this life, according to Buddhism, is not easy to find. You may think, oh, not easy to find. So that's what truth is. You are not going to find one. It's so difficult to find. Difficult to find. Difficult to find. Oh. So me to Latin Dongacho children, Chini Niaka, Mumbetesu Nimalo. Sleeping is not compared to so many things. It's not the worst thing. But sleeping is mentioned here. Being negative, being pessimistic, looking down on yourself, beating up yourself, these are worse than sleeping. Sleeping, you could probably practice sleeping yoga. There's many things you can practice. Even the sleep is neutral. Sleep can become positive, can become negative, can become neutral. If you go to bed with a positive mindset, whole sleep become merit. That's called sleep is not physical, it's mental thing, it's mental. It's not physical thing, it's mental. It's like a secondary mental factor. There's like 54 of them listed. 54 secondary mental factor is listed. Sleep is one of them. And among those 54 mental factors, there's like called Shinjushi. I don't know how to translate. Ni, sleep, regret. These are these four. There are 4 second mental secondary mental factor. That's called changeable mental factor. Why is it called changeable? Sometimes become negative, sometimes become positive. Regretting towards something positive, that's negative. Regretting towards something negative, that's positive. regretting towards, oh, weather is so hot. That's not positive, not negative, it's just neutral, you don't like. So they're so hot. So, so the regret can be positive, can be negative. Sleep can be positive, can be negative. Mumbai to new malos, they just say like, don't just sleep. I think that's another worst thing. Worst thing, as I mentioned before, looking down, hating yourselves, very unfortunate. Beating up yourself for all kind of story that you made it up, somebody made it up. That is not good. That's not good. You are not crossing. You are in the boat, or you are yourself is a boat. You're going round and round, round. You are not going. You are not even thinking about crossing this wild creek. You're just going round and round, round, and round. That's all. Oh, it's time to wake up. All of us, we need to wake up. Wake up. So see, so that sleep can be positive, can be negative. Also, maybe sometime. And then there, in like tantra teaching, that there's a way to like transform sleep into dharmakaya, dream into sambhogakaya, then like awakening into like janakaya. There are all many different practices. So anyway, the sleep is mentioned there, but there's not. Don't worry, if you're sleeping, don't worry, need to sleep. Oh no. 다 가외 준이 타예베 탐주 가외 초반에 동아 주의 영화도 그래서라도 지신 가서 need to balance. The life needs to be balanced. Always doing something extra, going here, doing this, all this. So they're not really looking inside, probably not the best. Need to balance a little bit, balance. Believing that we are going to be satisfied by doing things, never going to happen. We will never ever be satisfied by doing something. That's what we're hoping, but history proved, even this life proved, going there, here, doing eating, all the. Then it's good to focus within, so maybe think a little bit higher, aim higher, think maybe go higher for yourself, for well-being of other sentient beings. In Buddhism, that's called Buddhahood. So maybe need to aim like the aim needs to be higher than just about this life. So then everything say, think, do is 100% based on this life. So then the solution for our problem becomes so limited. So then we face big problems. So all your solutions related to this life, then you have no other solutions. So then further you can confuse. You don't know why things are happening. You have no knowledge to deal with that. You have no tools to do. Therefore, once in a while it's important to focus within, read something, think. You get a lot of tools to help yourself. Okay? There's his Holiness commentary here. Michewa shigi chiwa samju partials. Tana tiye kochi kejana nindemes. Mi pachawa. Yeah, His Holiness, even this is the commentary by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, so I'm reading. Mi pachawa, yeah, most people even don't think about that. That's the fact. Very true. Tana's tiye kochi kejana nindemes. Not just that, even they don't want to hear. They don't want to listen. Yeah, we do listen for so many things, there's no guarantee. But that one is a guarantee, it's only a matter of time, we don't want to listen. So then when that happens, you have almost zero tool how to keep your mind calm. And then hoping, then it's too late, too late. Oh. Then his own didn't say that, but that's what happened. Then it's too like, it's too late. When just but nganzu susu semlas, nganzu susu semlas, nganzu means we. Susu semlas jongdar cheso. Train our mind, train. Why need to train? Physically, there's nothing much. Physical don't manifest much. Mind manifests so many things that just perceptions, the way you perceive the perceptions, mentally construct, mentally construct, mental creation, mentally construct. Unfortunately, among those mental creations, a lot of them is not positive, just negative. So therefore, the mind needs to be trained. Similar jongdar chishings. Dengchu confidence. Kesim chatsama shik dembe guni chiwa knowledge tuzi. With confidence, virtuous thought, complete form of virtuous thought, dembe guni chiwa la knowledge tuzi. So then you know exactly how to face death without fear, without regret. That's the hope. So because of that confidence, there will be probably no fear or very little fear, no confusion. There's no confusions. Know exactly what's going to happen. Knows exactly what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. No confusions. So then top of that, confidence. Confidence. So then that's less fear. So see, generally speaking, the fear, so that there's no enough confidence that you get kind of anxious. Then afraid or fear, all of that, that you have confidence. Then so in the teaching it says, not here, some other teaching says, best practitioners, when they are dying, they feel like they are going to visit some of their relatives or their families. Like, when you go to visit your family, so you're kind of like excited to see them. So that kind of mindset, the best practitioners. And the middle level practitioners, they have no fear. Not necessarily kind of excited to not with excitement, but no fear. The last one, have no regret. I live my life pretty well, so there's no regret. So these are the three things that the people are hoping to, like leave this body behind with this kind of mindset. All these mental qualities. All this knowledge give you a lot of benefit, even in this life, get a lot of benefit. So a lot of benefit, okay? Therefore, milu rinpoche di tadung yutis. Tunchin drupa kodrumi liu di giwele la mizemba le ondo chubu micharons. Buddhism in some hand is very much greedy. It's not just focus on this life, using this life and to accomplish something much, much higher. And thinking to how you say, to eliminate death. That's what we're trying to eliminate death. So the Buddhism, in the Buddhist practice, the goal is huge, much, much bigger. It's not just concerned about this little problem here, little problem, there, little problem. Compared to deeper level, these are nothing. So you are trying to like reach something everlasting, everlasting freedom, everlasting break from all this cycle of complications. No matter which direction you turn, everything that comes with the complications. So eventually you get kind of like tired of that, then you are thinking maybe completely liberate, get enlightened. So, you know, goal is much, much bigger than like, it's not necessarily related to this life, using this life as a boat and trying to accomplish something huge. And for like rest of your life, you know, so then dedicated for that cause. So then of course you wonder why wouldn't you feel blessed? Why wouldn't you feel your life has meaning? Why wouldn't you feel like you're achieving something day-to-day life? Because your goal is much, much bigger than just this life. But very much using this life as seeing this life as something precious, seeing this life as a boat, and have ability to cross and trying to cross, at least starting the journey, not just going round and round, at least tuning towards the other side with clear awareness that seeing other side and just starting the journey. You know. So that journey will continue. If some reason in this life not able to reach the other side, it will get closer. Oh, something to be happy. Oh, so the goal is huge, Oh. Milu, human body, rinche, precious. Precious, see, precious. It's not something you hate, something you dislike. It's not object to be hated, object to be looked down, criticized. It is precious. Precious human body, milu rinche. When you have this, make sure don't waste. Don't waste. Just being pessimistic, that's the worst way to waste your precious life. Being pessimistic. That's no good. Nganzu tunje bakwe lidi gewele la mitzumbe lele onto chu zawar michis. Chu za means just get wasted by doing nothing. Bought very expensive, nice piece of fabric, just put it there. Wind, sun, rain, never get used. It's always thinking someday when you think I'm going to use, finish. It just wear out. Like that. Anything that's precious, that not taking care of, that's precious. Fabric or things, anything. If you don't take care, it will deteriorate. So that's how you feel. But wasting this, we don't feel nothing. We feel nothing. So, precious human life. It's important to understand. Precious, meaningful, difficult to find. Need to remind yourself every day. Every day. Don't remind yourself, oh, it is horrible, or doesn't look good, or smell bad, or like hair doesn't look good, or nobody likes me. That is exactly what it means, that you don't understand the precious human life, and you're just wasting it. Right? So, milieu rinche, precious human life. Anybody sleeping? Milieu rinche. You know, I think the balance, you know, like 50-50, pretty good, pretty good. 5-75, not that great, you know, better than nothing. But then you enjoy life more. You have a bunch of things to be happy about. Things to be, things that you do, makes you feel blessed, feel meaningful, feel, you know, like happy because you achieve something. You know? Doing all kinds of things never feel like achieve something and like not really things like useful things to do, blah 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 blah. So that's no good. So it needs to have some balance, some balance. Oh, internal, internal. Ah. So this boat can cross. Don't ever think it can cross. It could cross. If you choose to cross, you could cross. Or thinking, oh, this boat cannot be crossed because of this, that, that's ignorance, no wisdom. It's not about whether you agree or not. Your body is called milieu, human body, regime, precious. What Shantideva gets telling that your life is precious? Nothing, nothing, nothing. Shantideva has no interest about any material things, no interest. Even the book is free of copyright. Anybody can translate. They are not making any money. They have wonderful books. Shantideva is not making any money. They have no intentions. Because they want very much like to see you to cross that boat. There's a creek. So then that's there again. If you cross, there's again. So that require to understand, to know, understand, realize that life is precious, meaningful, difficult to find. So then you will come up with the term not to waste. In order to understand not to waste, first you need to understand is it precious, meaningful, difficult to find. Then you are not going to waste. That's why we don't waste, because it's so precious, because it's not easy to find. That's the only thing. That's why you don't waste. Same thing here. You don't waste because it's not easy to find. So that's exactly what it means. Train your mind. Go a little bit inside, a little bit deeper. Think. Lüde gewel, Tunjendro means complete something huge. According to Buddhism, liberation, enlightenment. This body is equipped with that. Equipped. Cross. That body this boat is capable to cross. Now don't just sit around thinking I cannot cross. Just go a little inch, few inch, you're getting closer. Better than just going round and round. Don't just worry about when I can cross. Not that important. Just move. Just move. Day by day, just move. You get there. Just move. Or just going round and round by thinking probably going to cross, never cross. So then this life will end. Finish. The bottom line here should not waste. Should not waste. Why? Precious. You possess precious things that you protect, you make sure it doesn't get damaged. Why? Precious. Why is rare? Oh, same thing. This is also very rare. Very, very rare. That maybe you can buy or you can sell. This you cannot buy, you cannot sell. Nobody sell. Nobody sell. Nobody sells that. No matter how much money you have, nobody sells. Only one, very precious, rare. Needs to understand and realize, eventually need to realize that. So, and that something that remind yourself daily basis. That's exactly what is called training your mind. Da nga zu tadung se, tadung di dan dewe go ne jewa nga chi ko la samla tong kushin. So namba san jebe Geshe tanas. Then his holiness is like kind of like saying that jewa nga chi life before this, life after death. That's what called jewa nga chi. As I said, not asking you to believe life before this, life after death is totally up to you. But you cannot close your mind. You cannot close your heart. You need to keep your mind open for any possibilities. Any possibilities. So don't just like shut this marvelous brain. Make it open for possibilities and just analyze and think. Think. Maybe you may get more solutions for your problems. If you stop, shut down, then solution, as I mentioned, becomes very limited, very limited. Problem is not limited. There are so many problems. Solution for you is going to be limited. Not limited. It has to do something with this life. In this case, this life is like 58 years old. That's all you can think of. Nothing above, nothing after, nothing before. The solution is going to be very limited. Namata nganzu simji junde jawa chigni chigdo chigni jawa chigni jawa shendo dowa ilas. According to Buddhism, this continuation mind comes from somewhere else. Using this, probably go somewhere else. Namshi kona namshi ji jun chimi jun ngobashis. So there's like whole, how to say, logic to prove. Nanzu diru shiba tamu da rabani ji cheba nyabada shego. That is only saying here, shiba tamu, subtle awareness and a gross awareness. Shiba tarani cheba shego. It's important to need to understand, differentiate between subtle and gross awareness or consciousness or mind. It's all same thing, means same thing. Generally speaking, Shibani lebatang, ti jejuji zowa nam dewa yu. Generally speaking, the consciousness or mind, there is relationship with the brain, talking about physical brain, something you see. His Holiness personal view, lebe zejuji zowa tangsa, debe shibe rikteni shibaraba konares. So His Holiness personal view, gross consciousness, gross mind, those are closely related to the brain, our physical brain, where the Western scientist talks about physical brain. Miki Tongwada Nawe Kowala Soba the Devi Shibaraba. So according to Buddhism, 6 senses. Probably mainly 5 senses. Yeah, 5 senses. These are considered as the gross consciousness. 6 mental consciousness compared to the 5 senses is subtle. So within the 6 mental consciousness, so then there are many, like there are like gross, subtle, very subtle. Lebe Deju Tawada Devi Shibi Ritin Shiva Rabaya. That's why His Holiness personal he thinks the consciousness they're closely related to the brain. He thinks like those are the gross consciousness. Because His Holiness is very interested in Western science, so they have been having like what do you call seminar between Buddhists and Western science, probably like now almost 30 years. Migi Tonga Nave call us David Shibaraba. So now this is talking about the five senses. Migi Tonga, something you see, something you hear. Lude and Luch Omo. But the so this gross consciousness heavily depend on the physical body too. Doa mi Sheba Sewa this Doa mi human consciousness. We are the not only one who possesses consciousness. Animal also do. And now Doa mi Sheba human consciousness. Doa mi Luji Tendo Chebe Shibaraba. These are consciousness dependent on human body. That's called human the consciousness. Tundu Tabitse Shibaraba, these are the gross consciousness, human gross consciousness. Tundu Tabu Tseso ki namba Shenla Yebe Shiba Teang, Chung Mandawaji Yimi Junteni Ti Leba. So the consciousness when it comes down on animals, why there are differences? Because that is only I'm not sure, but it is only said here, saying is based on the size of the brain or based on their brain, based on their brain. What I do know, but the learning ability is very much limited compared to human consciousness. That's the truth. That's the differences. So there's the differences, we have our learning abilities like almost limitless. Their learning abilities very limited. So maybe he's only learn from like scientists. I'm not sure. That usually Buddhism, you don't talk much about brain. You don't talk much about brain. You don't see much teaching about brain. It's mainly talk about gross, subtle, very subtle consciousness, gross body, subtle body, very subtle body. So then energy, usually I haven't seen. So, but there are about thousands of books I've never read. So like, but usually all the books that I've read, they never talk about brain. But there's a word called leba. Leba means brain, physical brain. So probably his only knows this. He's only said because there's the base on the brain. So I have no idea. Tetana yang kewa ngachi, kewa bird, nga before chi after kewa ngachi. Leba la tembe ongshe raba namji tone rade chuju kabures. So these things is quite, his only say, quite hard to explain based on the five senses. Life before life after this, life after that. Life before this, life after this. How is it that or this? Life before this, life after that or this? Both this. Okay. So that thing, that thing is not, you can't really explain based on the five senses. So the mother probably is right. Yeah, when you think that's correct, how you can explain based on five senses? You cannot see, you can hear, you cannot smell, you cannot taste, you can't touch. Then that finish. Five senses finish. Ability of five senses, eye consciousness, something you see, very limited beyond this world you can see. Hear consciousness there to hear. Life before this, life before this, you cannot hear, you can see. I mean, from your eye consciousness, but through meditation that you could gain like clairvoyance, different types of clairvoyance. This is not nothing to do with eye consciousness. There's something mental consciousness, then probably you could see. So the nose, you can smell the light before this, light before this, you cannot smell. And you cannot taste, you cannot touch. That's why light before this, light before this is hard to explain based on five senses. Makes sense. Makes sense. Can't do completely make sense. It's difficult. It's difficult. What did you do? Yeah, I think it's difficult, so almost impossible. It's difficult. That's why it's always is difficult. Onje raba teta ne ngachi nando ongde nam trubada lendo undu chuchus. These five senses develop within the womb, based on the organ, faculty. That's what it's called, faculty. No? It's not consciousness, it's faculty. But here in the West, when you say I, are we talking about the physical eye? In the West, when you say I, can you see, like, are you pointing to this like physical things? Or there's something beyond that? This is more like as a lens. That ability to see is not that. So I think that's how they translate eye faculties and eye consciousness. Or eye sense. Huh? Five sense, is that consciousness? In the West, there's no consciousness. Consciousness. If consciousness doesn't exist in the West, that's good news. So you don't need to worry now. Why you worry? Something Onshi Rakpa, gross, five senses, Onshi Rakpa, they are all the gross. Gross or cross? Gross. Not gross, they Yagi. Same pronunciations? Same pronunciations? Sometimes American English doesn't make sense at all. Doesn't make sense at all. The gross, that's like something you don't like oh, gross. So now sometimes gross is like that, used different way. So, people who are learning English, they're already confused. American English make them more confused. So these are developed within the womb. But consciousness, life coming from life before this, going after life after this, that consciousness. Sometimes what is called primordial consciousness. New sin. Primordial consciousness. Primordial. Primordial, yeah, primordial. I'm not going to learn this. Primordial, so whatever that is for primordial, or new sim. Sometimes what is called innate consciousness. Innate. Yeah, so new sim. Tibet that's called new sim, that's what it's called. New sim. New mesim. That is subtle consciousness. That's everything began between eggs and sperm. Egg and sperm. Everything begin from there, between there. Everything will dissolve back to that. Everything begin from there, everything comes back there. But there's a process. There's process when it's like growing, there's a process when it's going, when it's like shutting down, there's a process. Everything will end there. So the primordials, primordial consciousness. After death could remain there a week, 20 days, body looks fresh, doesn't look decay. Then people say, oh, meditative state, meditative, deep meditative state, very possible. Because that person learn death dissolution process precisely, thinking what's going to happen step by step, step by step, step by step. Know exactly in the very last moment there's something to grab, something to grab. So then, when you're able to grab that, then mix with something that you produce through meditations, well, then you could remain there a long time. Maybe then, you know, there's great possibility that one could, you know, like completely liberate this possibility. The very end doesn't look that horrible. It doesn't look something wonderful. It doesn't look horrible. You know? But we have this idea, but you know, well, there's no wisdom. Primordial consciousness. Then is like clear knowing. Yeah. Clear knowing is ability to know things. Know, oh, prayer well, or mala, or that's clear knowing. Nyoam yuri be rangshishi des. Kalde shiva tamu di mashana jawangaji namja deliji khabas. If you don't talk about this primordial consciousness, then it's very, very hard to explain life before this, life after this. It's almost impossible. How are you going to explain? You can't explain on 5 senses, is a gross. You can't explain both the physical body, that's out of questions. So now only thing that's left is primordial consciousness. That's the only things. So then, please open your mind, just think. No need to believe right away. Just think. Just think, okay. So, oh, it's too much. That's probably too much, a little bit too much. Oh, I can't think about. There's so much going on in this life. I can't really think about life before this life after this. Then, it's okay. Nothing to worry. That's okay. So right from the beginning, His Holiness said many people. Then just focus on precious human life. Just focus on the precious human life. Try to make sure that you understand precious of this life, meaningful. Learn. Don't ever say this. My life is no meaning. So difficult to find, and like educate yourself. Doing positive is the best way to helping yourself, making this life more happier. Just focus. Use this life. And you can just focus this life because it's too much to. I don't understand life with this life. So just focus on this life and use this life as a resource and do something good. Something good will happen. Something good will definitely happen. Nothing to worry. It's not like if you don't believe, oh, then nothing will happen. It's not like that. Something will happen. Once you plant the seed, something will grow. Something will grow. You can say, oh, because you don't believe, something will grow. It's not based on your belief. You put a bunch of seed, it will grow. When it's meet proper cooperative condition, it will grow. Same thing. Then just use this life as a resource to help yourself. I always say that's your moral responsibility to make sure that you feel good, you feel blessed, you feel precious. That's something you can do. You don't have to believe life with the life of that. So the focus they use, to be positive, and hope you just see positive, maybe eventually someday. You just hear positive, you just see positive, you just think positive. So then No, nothing to worry about life before the life of that. No, not that important. Okay. Mm. That's not important. That time of the month, Pena Susu Shinu, Shinuji, Nyamyo Tabu Tempe Shiba, other. Pena Susu Shinjuji, when you are young, Nyamyong experience, when you are young, experience Tempe Shiba. Mazi Nang, Shiba, Mazi Nang. Nyamnyo tabu tembe shiwa mazi na chinangi jenda tebe kabzu. Samjo la shujin tebe pacha yola. What it says to here, so I don't think there's some mistake in Tibetan. So this book has been translated from English to Tibetan. So maybe there could be mistake, It's not like translated from Tibetan to English. It's like this book, all the teachings is always taught in outside different world, different part of the country. The Tibetan people requested to put into English they want to read. Because Pena, for example,
Leaving aside memory, which allows us to remember, for example, the experiences of our youth, we all have latent and unconscious tendencies that arise under certain circumstances and influence the way our minds react.
So this is the first sentence. So when you are young, experience,
Yeah.
recollection of the experience.
We all, for example, the experiences of our youth, we all have latent and unconscious tendencies.
What is latent? Latent.
Lying on our consciousness.
Latent.
Yeah,
Then
latent.
what?
Yeah.
Then?
And unconscious tendencies that arise under
That means you don't remember?
Well,
You don't remember their consciousness or what?
unconscious, so
No, you don't remember?
you don't realize that's happened.
Oh, you don't realize that happened.
Right.
So see, Shantideva Nyamyo Tabu Tempe Shiba.
They're like seeds that aren't watered.
Chinangi Jenda Tepe Kabzu Nganzu Samjola Shujin Tepe Pajayalas. Teta ni tse diam ngoman namji on the Juma Shinza. Maybe I'm not sure, like, I think that we may have a lot of clues. That's what I always think. But our mind is scattered, our mind is scattered. Our mind is scattered out during the daytime, thinking all kinds of things. Even when we are saying prayer, not able to focus. Imagine, there's always so many hints that indicate something that we missed, or interest, to place, feeling, familiar, many things. Maybe indicating something before this, but we miss most of them. So that's what I think. So now here, like, of course, there's a certain early memory you may not remember. There's something triggered when you go somewhere, something that triggers, so they kind of like open up that memories very vividly. Probably that's what he's also trying to say, but I'm not sure, I don't want to guess, but that's what I think. Could be related to this life or maybe life before this. Nganzu paja tedaki nyuante nyuangude nyuang nganzu paja tedaki nyuangude mindanaze paja tedaki tade nganzu chinang choba jinchi jis. So maybe like paja, there's a tendency. For example, tendency like what? That you like to climb in the rock, climbing rock, that you are very interested, one of your best hobby. So maybe even though you are liberated, you may still still climb the rock. There's physical tendency, like even though you are liberated, you should like to climb tree or climb rock if you liberated this life. So that hobby may not change. You still keep doing that, like climbing a rock. No, that's called produced by tendency, physical tendency. Then you say bhaja, it's called bhaja, something, there's a slight difference between seed and tendency. Generally speaking, seed is tendency is not seed. But when you want to become precise, so that when you talk about seed and tendency, then that tendency is not seed. The seed is not tendency, it's a little bit deeper, more subtle. So that's why he's only saying here, may not remember like how the tendency be created, where, when, but the tendency have like impact in our life. So it doesn't have to remember, I think that's what it is. Chinang internally impact, external impact, internal impact that could happen. Nganzu paja tedagi jungsu sola sashi cheju kachingsa. That's true. It's very hard to explain. Like the hobby of like very young age, you just like to climb trees. So how that happened? Hard to explain. Tendency, maybe tendency. It's not good to say your previous life is a monkey, so that's not nice thing to say. The monkey like to climb tree, so that could be wrong as wrong assumptions. Could be very wrong assumptions. But some like tendencies. Even within one family, same parents, 5 kids, different interests, different way of seeing things, different way of doing things. Why? Same parents. Tendency. I think tendency. Tendency, how that happened, where happened, when it happened, hard to explain. That's true. 대단한 의지 뇨와다게 남자 참이 등도 샤베 파자 주바시스. See now dream night divided into like from 6, 7, 9, first part, 10, 11, 12, 1, second part, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably last part. There's a dream, dream it happened, it doesn't happen. When it happened, like if you go to bed very early, so that says the caused by tendency. Maybe some of the dream caused by tendency doesn't have to go that far. Day-to-day life, doing things. Maybe you dream about that, talking to your friend, having a coffee in Whole Food, eating cheesecake or chocolate chip cookies. Not like that. That's produced by day-to-day life tendency. Middle part could be like caused by some spirit or whatever, like last part, sometimes it's kind of indicate something's going to happen. Like not just one time, if you dream multiple frequently, so they maybe indicate that something's not going to happen. So these are, if you want a tendency, that's called tendency. First part of night, the dream that's mainly caused by, not definitely, but mainly caused by day-to-day life tendency. What that means? Doing things like this, action. Second moment is turning into called seed. So that become tendency. Eventually, second, then third, it becomes tendency. It doesn't mean disappear. It just kind of like it becomes a handprint. Putting the hand on the sand, hand is gone, but the print is there. Print is there. So like that, a print. Every action printed. Every action prints something. Every action prints something. Print. Oh. So that that's how we remember things. Oh. Then 대다기 문제 뇨와다게 남주점인데 보자지지. 대단히 문제 뇨와다게 previous experience. Action doesn't become action like action. This is action. It only lasts what, like 30 seconds or like that snapping. That's called action. It doesn't like goes on and on like if you unless you do like this all the time. Other one finish. So that actions leaves imprint. That's called tendency, propensity, tendency, seed, whatever you call. And as I mentioned before, if you want to be very precise, then there is there's a slightly difference between seed and tendency. So every action, second moment, turn into tendency. Where it goes, it doesn't go on the body, it goes on the consciousness. Not on the eye consciousness, ear consciousness, it goes to the sixth mental consciousness. It goes like print. Every action like print. So that's probably easiest way to say that you have some mental image. It prints it. Every action prints something. Where on the consciousness. Oh, so then that kind of produce maybe has ability to produce same snapping finger. You will snap same or do same thing. Maybe that's like a climbing rock print. Maybe that's produce interest to climb rock, something like that. Ngunji nyuwata, that's called ngunji nyuwata, experience from previous experience. Nyuwata ki namshe tamo, subtle consciousness. Ting to shabe paja, sha means put it in place, like this place. Not really place, but it's called sha means place. This is placed on the consciousness. Oh, that's called tendency. Nganzo jidenji kam di toma ru ngunju chebe, kedo chimbi kola, rishi jabo, namba chu, kedo chimbo, that's called Big Bang. Big Bang. That's coming from scientists, Western scientists. The Buddhism, I never saw like Big Bang in the Buddhism. So that's coming from discussion between science, called kedo chimbo Big Bang. Nganzo jiden di toma ru ngunju chebe kedo chimbi kola rishi jabo. So when you discussing, talking, explaining about Big Bang theory. That's what it's always about. There's the Western scientist influence. Nangba tsuza, kedo chimbo zala, ju shenshi yoba, she gu yushinza. Buddhists, that you probably may end up saying there's another cause for Big Bang. Maybe I'm not sure what Western scientists, probably you have better knowledge, I never know. I'm not aware of I did heard of this term Big Bang, but I didn't pay much attention. Just focus on this life. Mubo tamjasa, Judan debut, time maybe, Judim jibuzo. Everything result of direct cause, cooperative conditions. That's how things happen. Everything's happen based on the direct cause. Then cooperative conditions, that's how things happen. Direct cause, wood, this is a direct wood. Tools, person, the tools, machines, cooperative conditions, then become that idea of prayer will materialize. Everything like that. Direct cause, idea to make prayer will then during the process change your mind, make a giraffe. Same like good idea, maybe make prayer well, then like first maybe think, oh, I'm going to make like a sword or maybe beast or something. Then idea change, oh, then that same direct cause become beautiful prayer well, much better. Doesn't become beast, idea change. So that direct cause and cooperative condition, that's how everything happened. It's like everything, that's how it happened, happening, is going to happen in the future. Nothing just happened. Nothing just happened like that. No. 이나야서 but 먼저 tel라 토미 주식 조미투스. 먼저 남자 토마식 내봤다. 대제 지대 감데 두처럼만 토마식 조미투. 전에 전남이라시. Yeah, so now let's stop here. So it's getting more complicated. Become more complications. So next Wednesday, maybe no next
Yeah, next Wednesday,
break.
a break
for
from
break?
Lamrim class.
Yeah, for-
Don Hendrick will be
Okay,
teaching.
that's good. Sounds wonderful. So yeah, so next, then after next. So then talks about like beginning, start, beginning, where it began. I don't know. Has to have beginning, so where it began, I don't know. How it's going to end? Yeah, just break, smell, grind through. Then maybe not really completely disappear, but the form is kind of gone, but still become like fine, sand. So that's where the chapter like beginning, consciousness, primordial consciousness, beginning of pick up one apple seed, beginning. I don't know. Probably scientists don't know. Scientists don't know. Pick up one like buy avocado seed, beginning where? Well, it come from Guatemala, but the one that you saw, that come from Guatemala. That seed come from where? Does it have beginning? How to say? It is end, yeah, if you burn, finish, that seed is no longer produce another avocado. It's already burned, ability to grow is burned. Definitely there is end. End is really end. How to say? Okay. Thank you very much. We'll stop here. So then see you next Wednesday. Okay. Have a wonderful night.
Okay, please turn to page 235 and 236, and we'll read the general dedication prayers, stanzas 1 through 5. Gewa nu duda lama sangye rugyune dowa chikyang malupa deyi sala gerpashok Janchu sencha rinpoche ma ke panam ke gyurchik ke wanyam pa me payang gone gondu pawa shok Jampa pawo jita kempada kudu zampo de yande shinte Eda kungi jesu da loche ke wadida tanche raptu no Dusun shepe gewa tanche ki ngawa gangla chotu nga pade dashe gewe tsawa di kunkyo sampo chuchu raptu ngowa gi Dagi jine sape gewadi, tendando wa kun la gang pedang, chepa jetsun lo sang da pai, tempe nimpo ring du sao je sho. Now the long life prayers, the first one on page 244 for His Holiness. Gandhira we kor we jin kam dir, pendan deva malu junwene, chere sigwan tenzing yatsoi, shape site batu tengyu chi. Then page 245 for Sarah J. Cancer Rinpoche, Jetson Losang Dalek. Jonu iya na lang wa shotu, awa tare tsembara sopa, losang gewe de ton le pao shok, shashun gengyu lama so wa de. Now the inside back cover, prayer for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Fearless teacher and assembly of the children of victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Losang father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of the infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make request. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and mother living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of victorious ones, may the smile of a new reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. And right below that, for the long life of Geshe, Supreme Guide, you lead us on the many paths of virtue. A shining sun, you give eloquent, sublime explanations. Supreme virtuous friend, you are a constant Dharma companion. Lama who has renounced fame, may you ever remain. And then for the long life of Geshe Sampo, also right below that, you have the steadfast imprints of virtuous qualities and keep the instructions of the glorious Guru in your heart. You who pass day and night with noble activities, great virtuous friend, may you have a very long life. And then for the benefit all beings, 7 Tara mantras. Om Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Tare Tu.
Okay, thank you. Good night. Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you. Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining. Good night, everyone on YouTube as well. It's good to see everybody. Bye. Don't forget that Gendon Hendrick will be here next week, Tuesday through Sunday.